Tonight, we begin with a quiet story, one that moves gently through dark times, through quiet rooms, through late-night writing, and through one man's steady belief that even in the darkest hours, there is always hope. It is the story of Winston Churchill, a man who loved words, who wrote late into the night, who believed in never giving up, who stood firm when the world was falling apart, and who became one of the most resilient leaders in the history of humanity. There's no need to hurry through this story. Let it unfold slowly, like the slow rising of light after a long night. As you listen, imagine a quiet room, late at night, a lamp glowing softly, papers spread across a desk, and a man writing thoughtfully with quiet determination and a heart full of belief that the morning would come. Tonight, we follow his journey from a quiet childhood in England to a life of quiet strength that still inspires the world today. Winston Churchill was born in 1874 at Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, England. He was born into a grand home under a wide sky where the days moved slowly and the nights were filled with the sounds of the countryside. From the beginning, Winston seemed to notice the world with unusual care. While other children might have played loudly, Winston was the kind of child who watched, who listened, who wondered. He was born into privilege, but he was not happy as a child. His parents were busy with their own lives, with their own duties, with their own worlds. His mother was American, beautiful, charming, often away at social events. His father was a politician, distinguished, powerful, often absent, lost in the world of politics. Winston was left in the care of nurses and nannies and servants who raised him with distance and with formality. He was not a good student, at least not in the way schools measured it. He struggled with math. He struggled with Latin. He did not enjoy the rigid structure of the traditional school system. His teachers said he was difficult, that he was stubborn, that he would never amount to much. But Winston was different. He loved history. He loved reading. He loved stories of heroes, of battles, of great moments in the past. He found a teacher who believed in him, a teacher who saw that he was not difficult, but simply different, that he was not stubborn, but simply determined. And slowly, under the care of this teacher, Winston began to grow. He began to read more. He began to write more. He began to believe in his own potential. In the quiet of his childhood, in the grand halls of Blenheim Palace, a young boy began to dream of a future where he could serve, where he could lead, where he could make a difference in the world. As the years passed, Winston's desire to serve only grew stronger. He was not searching for fame. He was not searching for recognition. He was searching for purpose. He wanted to do something meaningful. He wanted to understand the world. He wanted to learn about history, about war, about the way nations rise and fall. He wanted to learn and to help others through the quiet, steady power of words and of action. That dream took shape slowly, the way many important dreams do. It was not rushed. It was not forced. It simply kept returning to him, year after year, until it became part of who he was. He went to military school. He studied to become an officer. He graduated and he joined the army. He served in India, in Sudan, in South Africa. He saw war, he saw battle, he saw the cost of conflict, and he saw the courage of those who fought. He was not afraid of danger. He was not afraid of risk. He was not afraid of doing what he believed was right. He also began to write. He wrote about his experiences. He wrote about war. He wrote about history. He wrote with clarity, with power, with a voice that people listened to. And slowly, he became known not just as a soldier, but as a writer, as a thinker, as someone who could express what others felt but could not say. He entered politics. He became a member of parliament. He served in different roles. He made mistakes. He faced criticism. He faced doubt. But he did not give up. He continued to serve. He continued to write. He continued to believe in the truth he had discovered. That dream was not loud. It was not dramatic. It was gentle, steady, and full of hope. In the quiet of his thoughts, in the stillness of his mind, a future began to take shape, one that would lead him to the darkest hours of world history and to the greatest test of his leadership. For many years, Winston Churchill waited. He waited for the right moment to step into the role that he was meant to fill. He held different positions. He served in different roles. He made mistakes. He faced setbacks. He was even removed from positions of power when things went wrong. During World War I, he was involved in a disastrous campaign at Gallipoli. Many soldiers died, many lives were lost, and Winston was blamed. He was criticized. He felt the weight of that failure deeply. He stepped down. He went to the front lines as a put-on officer. He served with courage. He served with humility. He served knowing that he had made a mistake and that he needed to prove that he could still serve with honor. But through all of this, he never stopped believing. He never stopped writing. He never stopped preparing for the moment that he knew would come. He painted. He found peace in the quiet act of creation. He wrote books. He wrote history. He wrote speeches that would one day be remembered forever. He was waiting for the call that would bring him back into the center of world events. And slowly, the world was changing. Germany was rising. Adolf Hitler was coming to power, and the threat was growing day by day. Winston spoke out. He warned people, he said, that this was dangerous, that this was a threat to peace, to freedom, to everything the world valued. But few listened. Few believed him. He was seen as a warmonger, as an alarmist, as someone who was crying wolf too many times. But Winston did not stop speaking. He did not stop believing in what he knew was true. Imagine the quiet rooms where he wrote late into the night. The lamp is glowing softly. The papers spread across the desk, the pen moving slowly across the page. And Winston thinking, writing, preparing for the moment that was coming. A word is written, an idea takes shape, a new thought emerges, each small moment connected to the others in ways that only time can reveal. These moments were not loud, but they were profound. They prepared him. They prepared his words. And all of it began with patience and a quiet willingness to wait, to prepare, and to believe in the moment that was coming. In 1940, the moment arrived. World War II had begun. Germany had invaded Poland. France was falling. Britain stood alone against a powerful enemy that seemed unstoppable. And Winston Churchill was called to lead. He became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom at the most dangerous time in the nation's history. The country was afraid. The world was afraid. The enemy was powerful. The outlook was dark. But Winston did not give in to fear. He did not give in to despair. He spoke, and his words became a beacon of hope. in the darkness. He said, "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat." He said, "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall never surrender." He said, this was their finest hour. These words were not spoken loudly. They were not spoken to angrily. They were spoken with quiet strength, with deep belief, with an unwavering commitment to the cause of freedom and of peace. Imagine the scene in the House of Commons. The room was filled with politicians, the tension in the air, and Winston standing there, speaking slowly, carefully, thoughtfully, his voice not loud but steady, his words not angry but firm, and the room listening, because what he said was true. It was honest. It was brave. He worked late into the night. He studied maps. He reviewed reports. He made decisions that would shape the course of the war. He slept little. He ate simply. He smoked cigars, but he worked with relentless determination. He painted in the quiet moments to find peace. He wrote to express his thoughts. He spoke to inspire the nation, and slowly the nation began to believe. They began to see that here was someone who would not give up, who would not surrender, who would stand firm no matter what came. Imagine the bombs falling on London. The city is in flames, the people in fear, and Winston walking through the streets, looking at the damage, speaking to the people, telling them that they would survive, that they would endure, that they would win. That moment was not loud, it was not dramatic, but it was profound. It changed the nation, it changed the war, and it changed the way people think about leadership forever. All of it began with patience and a quiet willingness to wait, to prepare, and to believe in the moment that was coming. Of course, Winston's path was not always easy. The war was long and it was bloody. Many people died, many families were torn apart, many questions arose about whether Britain could survive at all. Winston faced criticism, he faced doubt, he faced moments when the work felt heavier than it needed to be. Some people wanted him to negotiate, to make peace, to end the war by surrendering. Some people wanted him to be more cautious, to be more careful, to be more strategic. But Winston did not change his way. He continued to believe in the power of resistance. He continued to believe in the power of freedom. He continued to believe in the power of never giving up, no matter how dark the moment seemed. He was tired. The war exhausted him. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on his shoulders. He lost sleep. He worried deeply. He carried the pain of the nation in his own heart, but he did not let this stop him. He continued to lead. He continued to think. He continued to believe in the truth he had discovered. He believed that freedom was worth fighting for. He believed that surrender was not an option. He believed that victory would come even after so much suffering. There is a quiet strength in that kind of perseverance. It does not need to shout, it simply keeps going. Winston's story reminds us that being tested does not define a person. What defines a person is how they respond. He responded with patience, with courage, with unwavering belief, and because he remained faithful to his vision, his leadership carried even more weight. He showed that resilience is not weakness. It is a powerful kind of strength, one that can endure and eventually transform the world. As the years passed, Winston's leadership continued to guide the nation through the darkest hours toward the dawn of victory. The war turned, the enemy began to weaken, Allies joined Britain. The United States entered the war. The Soviet Union fought on the Eastern Front, and slowly the tide begins to shift. Winston worked with world leaders. He met with Franklin Roosevelt. He met with Joseph Stalin. He helped shape the strategy that would bring the war to an end. And finally, in 1945, victory in Europe was declared. The war was over. The darkness had passed. The light had returned. Imagine the moment when victory was announced. In the quiet of the evening, in the stillness, a new truth emerged, a new understanding appeared, and the nation became a little less afraid and a little more hopeful in its possibility. That moment was not loud, it was not dramatic, but it was profound. It changed Britain, it changed the world, and it changed the way people think about resilience forever. All of it began with patience and a quiet willingness to wait, to prepare, and to believe in the dawn that was coming. Winston Churchill's life did not end with victory. Over time, he became deeply devoted to writing, to sharing his experiences, and to helping the world understand the lessons of the war. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature. He wrote 6 volumes of the Second World War. He wrote with clarity, with power, with a voice that would be remembered forever. He believed that history should be learned from. He believed that lessons should be shared. He believed that peace could be a force for good in the world. His legacy became more than politics. It became a call to attention, to courage, to compassion, and to responsibility. This part of his story is especially peaceful because it shows how a life rooted in resilience can become a life of service. Winston did not lead for himself, he led for others. He encouraged them to do the same, and in that way his work reached far beyond the war. It touched nations, it touched families, it touched hearts around the world. Winston Churchill's story is one of resilience, courage, quiet strength, and deep care for the world. He began as a difficult child with a heart that dreamed of service and became someone whose leadership still helps us understand the power of never giving up today. His life shows us that great change does not always come from speed or force. Sometimes it comes from waiting, enduring, and caring deeply enough to stay firm even when it is difficult. That is a gentle lesson, but it is also a lasting one. His legacy continues in the leaders who serve, in the students who choose courage even when the path is difficult, in every person who believes that resilience can change the world, and in every person who faces darkness and believes in the power of the dawn. Winston's life reminds us that a calm and persistent heart can leave a wide ripple across the world, and as the room grows quiet and the evening deepens, we can remember his story as a quiet gift, one that teaches us that patience, courage, and care can change everything.